Hi, this is the Getting Started video for our class, and I'm going to go over the basics of how to navigate the Blackboard and the work that we'll be doing together. Now, this is a 3-week winter class, organizational behavior, and the first place we like to start out is the announcements area. This is what will open up when you come into the course, and I keep a class overview on the first announcement, and this basically will outline the majority of what we're doing in our classwork. I give a brief overview in the beginning. Basically, the winter session this year goes from January 8th to January 25th. And to get started, for the first week, we have a lot to cover. I previously sent out an email asking everyone to get the textbook because this class does move pretty fast. Now, each week, we're going to go over 4 chapters each week. In the first week, we're going to go over chapters 1 through 4. So in the class schedule here, I've embedded the links to my YouTube lectures on each of the chapters. So the first link is actually what you're watching right now. It's the class introduction video, where I'm going to go over how to manage the course, because the online course can get, if not done well, can get rather confusing. So here I'm going to make it as simplistic as possible in this video for you to understand how to navigate. Okay, so here what I've written is basically the areas that we're going to be working with is we have course documents. This is where you can find the syllabus and class notes. I'm recording right now the video syllabus, which is sort of also the getting started video, where I'm going to explain to you the learning goals, what I'm trying to achieve, what you're responsible for, etc. Assignments is a tab that we'll be working with. This is where I'm going to house all your assignments. We'll go over that later. Discussion boards will also be utilized. SB Connect is an area I'll be talking about later. We're also going to utilize this for our synchronous part of the class. Now, the course is been specifically designed to be accomplished in a 3-week time period. And in this 3-week time period, there are going to be 5 quizzes. Each quiz is 10 points, and each quiz will cover anywhere from 2 to 3 chapters. Now, let me just go right to the course documents. So in the course documents, this is where the syllabus is going to be housed, and also all of the PowerPoints that my lectures are based on, that you can go in and review these PowerPoints at a later date. Now, assignments is where we're going to manage the work for the course. So the first big assignment is the discussion board. So the discussion board is worth 20 points. Each week I will put up various discussion board posts for you to respond to. Now, in order to complete this assignment, you have to go to the Discussions tab right here on the menu. So I'm going to go right there right now. And you can see here for week 1, I've posted Article 1. So for this forum, for this first question here, what I want you to do is to go out and find an article that is current, that's going to embody a topic from organizational behavior. And this is something that is going to be timely and relevant, something that you can find from a newspaper or magazine. You can certainly use any online media. And I want you to kind of create a little synopsis, the title of the article, the source, the author, the date, a brief summary of the contents, why you picked this particular article, and how it relates to our organizational behavior. And once you post your article, I expect you also to come back at a later date and read other students' articles and respond to what they've posted, as far as something supportive or something, or a question maybe you have for them, or a follow-up on the relevance, or even you may even read the article and have additional information that you want to share and point people to another website or another article that may explore a topic in a little bit more depth. So anytime you want to complete one of these discussion board questions, you click on the link, and then you would have to create a thread, and then you could name the thread, you know, student name perhaps, and then right here in the body you can go and cut and paste your synopsis of the article, a link to where students can read the article, and in certain cases you can even paste the whole article in here as well. And then so I'm just going to say just type something real quick in here and submit. Okay, so now you'll see my thread here. I'm the author, and when it's published, and other students will be able to click on the thread, read what I have written, and then also reply. So fairly simple, and I just submit that. So now I have one thread, and then the student reply. So very simple, nothing too complex here. And then I'm just going to back out of here and get back to the main menu. And the same thing for discussion questions. So this week I posted the first discussion question, and I'm going to ask students to read page 7 of the textbook, which is a research insight vignette, and it talks about suggests that women might make better leaders. And I want to know what you think of the study that was done, and from your experiences, how do women lead differently than men? So this can be a lively discussion and topic. And again, you click onto the discussion question link right here, and then you can create a thread and create your reply, and then look for other students, read what they have written, and reply to what they have said. And this is what's going to be sort of like our class environment, where we're getting together, although virtually on the internet, but we're getting together, talking, discussing things that are relevant to the course. So this is sort of going to be the normal discussion section that we would have had in our class. Now, on the third assignment here for week 1, in each of these assignments I give you a posting frame. And in this one I say the posting form will be open from be open until January 12th. For the self-assessment. For the discussion question 1, the forum will be open until January 11th. So you have until that time frame to make sure that your participation, and I get a list of all participants and what they've posted, will count. If you post after that date, your contribution will not count. And it's better to post your original response earlier in the week, then check in the next couple of days to see if anybody left you a question on your response that you may answer it, and also check out other students' responses and answer or leave comments for them. And this will be part of your participation grade wrapped into the discussion board, which is 20% of your total grade. The third type of discussion board post I might make would be a self-assessment. And this is where I'm going to ask you to look into the textbook, and they have some self-assessment exercises at the back of the textbook where I want you to complete and then provide a response of how useful you thought it was, if it was accurate, and just overall general opinion of these assessments. Were they worthwhile, valuable, things of that nature. And generally I expect for most postings between 100 and 200 words, including the replies, because I want something that's substantial and going to contribute to the course, not a simple yes I agree or interesting article. I mean, those would not be counted. You really need to have a substantive response, an intelligent response to the material. Okay, so that assignment is something that's very ongoing. Keep in mind that a winter course, typically if it was in school, in the classroom, we would meet 4 days each week for about 4 hours. So that's 16 hours of class time. So this discussion board is one element of that class time that we normally would be spending in a classroom, but instead we're spending it online. So that's why I'm asking for these generous postings and responses and replies to simulate that environment. Now, the second type of assignment you're going to have is a quiz, and there are 5 quizzes. Each quiz is worth 10 points. The quizzes are not all open at once. I do have the first quiz in Chapter 1 and 2 open, and then shortly after that, the second quiz in Chapters 3 and 4 will open. The quizzes are dated and timed along with the coursework. Now, I guess the best approach is you read the chapter, or in this case Chapters 1 and 2, and then after you read the chapters, you can click into the quiz. And the quiz is just going to be, click begin, and it's going to be a series of multiple choice questions. And here we have, let's see, 20 multiple choice questions. So you read the question, and you may just remember it directly from the material. Click the corresponding letter. That is the correct answer, hopefully. And as you can see, you can at any time save your answers, and then your answers will be saved. Now, if you at any point you can save your answers and come back and work on this at a later date. Save all answers. But when you're ready to submit it to me, you can click Save and Submit. Once you click Save and Submit, right here. Once you click the Save and Submit, it's final. The grade, you cannot attempt the test a second time. The grade will be logged into the grade book, and you only have one attempt to do this quiz. So be very careful and only click the Save and Submit when you're finished and you have everything completed and ready to go. Now, if you're going to work on this in multiple days, you can click Save All Answers, exit the quiz, and come back to it at a later date, and your answers will be saved, and then you can finish the rest of the quiz at a later time. So this is a very important point. Only click the Save and Submit when you've finalized all your answers and you're ready to send it to me. Once you click on the Save and Submit, you'll get an automatic response, which will give you your grade for the quiz, what you've got right. And I got 0 out of 10 questions right. I'm sorry, 0 out of 10 points right. Each question is a half a point. So pretty simplistic. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced something similar in other courses, but this is just to make sure that you keep connected to the material and you're following the coursework. And so each quiz will cover usually 2 chapters, and towards the end, the last 2 quizzes will cover 3 chapters each to cover our full 12 chapters. So basically, you're going to have 2 quizzes a week. Think of it in those terms. Okay, so this course has 2 papers. The first paper is a culture paper. So organizational culture profile. And this paper is going to be due on January 19th at 11:30 p.m. Oops, made a little mistake there. Hold on. Try that again. January 19th at 11:30 p.m. and its value is 15 points. The second paper is also 15 points, is due January 26th at 11:30 p.m. In fact, most assignments will be due, if not all, at 11:30 p.m. Okay, so the first paper is, I want you to select hopefully a reasonably well-known company, and it'd be much more easier to finish this report with a public company. So I'm asking everybody to pick a public company. It'd be easier for me to get information and kind of follow along with what you're doing. And I want you to investigate and prepare a report on the culture of this company. And because each company has an individual personality and an individual culture. So I'm curious to know what the exact culture is of the company, and for that you need to describe how the organization, it takes a lot of description of the organization and in describing the many elements of their culture. So I need you to tell me the signs of their culture. What are some examples? If you think of companies like Apple, they have a very distinct culture built around innovation and built around Steve Jobs' personality. So when you start looking into a lot more depth on these companies, you get a better understanding of what their culture is. and what caused the organization to have this particular culture? What was their evolution? How did it develop? Was it from the leadership of one person or just a leadership of many people over a long period of time? And what effects does this culture have on the customers, the employees, society, um, the organization? And has this culture ever been changed dramatically, or can it be changed? So, you know, now I expect every time you write a paper for me, I'm looking for it to be professionally written at a graduate level, extremely well organized. I want to have your sources of where you found your material, and I want them to be cited correctly. Now, you are encouraged to, you can actually contact the company, work with their annual reports, use magazine postings and articles, whatever this is sort of a research paper. So not so much that you're doing original research, but you're trying to put together information from many different sources into this report that's really going to be the basis of explaining to me the culture of this company. And within that culture is a lot of how the organization has developed over time, how the organization behaves, and its impact on the company's performance. The report should generally be 21 to 2,700 words. I say words and not pages. That could sometimes come out to 7 or 9 pages, but I say words because of different margins and font sizes, people can really kind of get a little creative on how many words go on a page. So I give a definite word count I'm looking for. You're definitely free to go over that word count if you need to, but try not to go under. I really would penalize you for that. The second report is the CEO profile report. Now in this report, I want you to pick a different company. So the CEO leader should be from a different company than your culture report. I don't want you really doing the culture on one company and then talk about the leader of that same company. It's going to be a little redundant. So I would expect you to pick a new CEO from a new company, and also, again, a public company. And I want you to investigate and prepare a report on the leadership style and the effectiveness of the CEO. How do they run the company? Now, when I say CEO, in some cases it may be president of the company, but basically the person in charge. And I want you to answer, what is the background of the CEO? Now, if it's someone who's a very recognizable figure, they may have lengthy backgrounds. I want you to kind of keep that, briefly explain to me who they are and what their background is. I don't want the whole report just to be their background. And then once you go into what their leadership style is, their philosophy, how they've, how they basically lead the company, what has been the success of this philosophy, or what mistakes have they made in the past. What are their values, their beliefs? How does this help them become a better leader? What are their biggest strengths and weaknesses? Describe the contributions that this leader has made in the business world, and the success of the company. In some cases, you can talk about other companies that they've been involved with, but you really want to focus on their most current or most successful company for the most part. But you can mention other places they have worked in the past. And what did you learn from the studying of this leader, or what are some examples of their leadership style that you may actually take with you and become part of your leadership style? And again, whenever you write these papers for me, I'm not asking for a 20-page paper here, but I'm asking for a paper that's very concise, well-written, extremely well-organized, professional, written at a graduate level, and well, cited with proper, citations. And I will go over, I will post some citation guidelines on the announcements at a later date for you to kind of look at if you needed to just brush up on that. Okay, so those are all your assignments, and all your assignments will be here under assignments. And I'm not going to be adding to this. You have basically 2 reports. Each of them are 15 points. Five quizzes of 5 points each, and 20 points of discussion board. And that makes up the full 100 points. Now, let's go to SB Connect. This is another tab here. Now, this is where we are going to have, let me just log in, and you use the same login that you would use for Blackboard. When you click on this, you were going to enter in what's called SB Connect, which is really a part of Adobe Connect. Now this is an online environment where I can share my screen with you. We can have a meeting. I can set up a meeting. I can change the views. Let's see what I want to do. I want to, a lot of times we will chat. I can also give you a microphone. You can talk to me directly. I can talk to you. I can post discussion notes. I can share my monitor with you, or go over different documents, and just show you what if we had a specific thing. If I share my screen, I can connect, and then you can see we can work on the same screen together. So this is just a connectivity application that we can use, and I'm going to be using this during my online office hours. So if you need to show me something, or we need to work on something together, this would definitely be the area. If you need to ask me questions about papers or projects or the quizzes or the chapters, this is the environment that we would definitely work in here. And I'll go over when and where this is going to be operating for us to meet as individuals or groups. And this would be the synchronous part of the course. Okay, so there we have the announcements, the documents, assignments, discussions, and SB Connect. So let's go over the syllabus so you get a better idea of the flow of the class. Now in the syllabus here, the textbook, and you may want to make this YouTube video full screen so you can kind of see what I'm seeing here. The textbook I've already emailed everyone out. It's Organizational Behavior 12th edition, and it'd be good if you had this before class started, or even if you get the book early, you may want to start reading up on the first couple of chapters so you have a head start on a lot of the material. And like I said, this course will be, there's two points to this course. Part of it will be organized asynchronously. Oh, said that a little. I'm not going to restart this. I'm already about 22 minutes into it. But asynchronous class. Well, you'll see that with a lot of my lectures and YouTube videos, that I might make a mistake or two, but nothing is meant to be perfect. There will be some little errors here and there, but I just keep moving ahead, just like in a real class. So for the asynchronous part of the class, I'm going to post videos, documents, lectures, tests, assignments, and you can complete them anytime during the day or night that you want to work on the course. Now you must be connected to the course at least 4 days a week, just as if it was a class in a classroom on campus and you would be coming in 4 days a week. You should make it a habit to come into the Blackboard environment 4 times a week to check on your discussion board posts, post new discussion boards, and there are concrete due dates of when things are due as far as discussion board questions and quizzes and papers, but for the majority of the class you're free to work on it and contribute on your own time schedule, as long as you meet the due dates of everything. Now we also have the synchronous part of the course, and the synchronous part of the course is the SB Connect that I was just showing you before, and that SB Connect is the tool we'll use once a week on Thursdays between 2 and 3 p.m. We can make a special appointment if you feel that there's something you want to meet with me about, but you can't really make that time frame. You can also email me as well. But in the SB Connect, and this is a voluntary optional online session where we can answer questions, talk about problems of course issues, just like office hours. This could be an environment where if you submitted a paper to me and it wasn't done very well, and and you wanted me to elaborate, why did I get a 0 out of 15 points? Then this is a tool that we could use to kind of share the paper together, and I can kind of go through it with you and show you some of the main problem areas. And again, this is just like office hours. It's optional. You don't have to attend, but you're more than welcome to pop in to say hello. And a lot of times, I find that the headphones and the microphones on the SB Connect don't work so well. So you might be able to hear me. I won't be able. A lot of times I have problems hearing students. So a lot of these SB Connect sessions kind of are mostly done in chat mode. So you'll see how it is. If there's a problem, you can come in and work with that. Now, of course, the course objectives is, there are many different types of companies and firms out there in this world, and all of them have different personalities and different dynamics and behaviors of how the companies operate. Now, the organization is sort of almost like a living entity. And organizational behavior looks to talk about that environment and how companies function and conduct their business process, so we get a better understanding of how to do it right and how to improve upon an organization's behavior and the way it's structured to hopefully produce better results for the organization. Things that we're going to be talking about and investigating that all is encompassing this body of this topic called organizational behavior are things like individual perception, motivation, leadership, decision-making, teamwork, things of that nature. And the purpose of the course is to introduce the main ideas and concepts of organizational behavior. And we're going to do this through current theories and principles and practice. We're going to try to help you get a better self-awareness and confidence in your role and your present, past, or future company, and try to help prepare you for a more successful career in the future, or to, make your current career more successful for you by helping you to understand the best way to navigate a company's organization. Now, the learning goals of the course are: one, I want to help students understand organizational behavior issues, and consequently be able to be more effective managing themselves and others at work. I want to provide the most up-to-date, relevant information about the field and involved in current events. I want to prepare students for, possibly a new career or their first job after graduation, depending on where you are in your life. One goal I have is to engage students actively rather than passively through this learning process. I'm going to do that through the class discussions, current events, articles and postings, different things in that nature. Since this is the online class, we're not going to really have too many guest speakers. I'm going to probably most likely be the only speaker here, but we will be doing some debates. Not a traditional debate, but just through the discussion board where people are posting and replying to each other and debating various discussion questions. I want to expose you to the latest terminology and jargon that commonly used in organizations, hoping to break the jargon barrier and begin a process of keeping aware of the most current trends within this industry. Within many industries, actually, and just improve your overall communication, interpersonal skills to help you to contribute better to your work environment in the present or in the future, and also the discussion boards of the class. The way we're going to accomplish these learning goals is, first through the textbook, which is a pretty comprehensive textbook on organizational behavior. We'll be covering 12 chapters during the semester. Second, I'll be using a series of quizzes of multiple choice questions to help reinforce or involve you on the weekly material. And thirdly, utilize homework and current events to apply these real world examples to organizational behavior. Now, the class time is going to be is going to cover the information in the textbook, discussion of articles and current events. And to do this, I'm going to utilize discussion boards, video lectures, voiceover PowerPoints to simulate a class environment. My office hours will be Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. We can drop in by clicking SB Connect, where I will be waiting for you on the other side of SB Connect, and we can communicate synchronously, and I can answer any questions or issues you have with the course at that time, clarify any questions you may have. Now, the grades are pretty simple. Each of the two reports, the culture report and the CEO profile report are 15 points each, and the discussion board is 20 points. So those 3 assignments together are 50 points, and then I have 5 quizzes at 10 points each. Altogether, that is 100 points. Now, here is the grade scale as far as how these points convert to a letter grade. For your part of the class, I would like you to be prepared to participate, and I would like you to participate in on the discussion boards in a generous manner, in a courteous manner to each other. I don't mean for any one student to dominate the course discussions. Just have a real community of sharing and learning in this discussion board environment. Each week, I'll post 1 to 4 discussion board questions that I was showing you the discussion board, how that works earlier, and so each week I expect students to participate multiple times. I really don't want you just to log in one day, submit your post, and answer to 2 other students' posts, and then never return. The way the discussion boards work best is when you go back in to see if anybody left you a question, or you may want to respond to someone's post on your post, and so you want to be generous as you can with your time to really create that class environment. When you post current articles, this is hopefully articles that will be tied to topics that we've talked about in class, or further elaborate as an example of different subjects that we've covered or may cover in the future. And I always want you to give me the title of the article, the source, the author, the date, and a brief summary. And in many cases, you can give us a link to the article, because students will be interested in read that article before they reply to you. In some cases, if it's you can actually feel free to cut and paste where allowable, cut and paste the article directly into the discussion board if it's allowable. And ideally, I'd like each student to read and reply to a minimum of 2 other student articles. Feel free if you want to do 3 or more. That's up to you, but a minimum is 2. 3 would be great, but see what your time frame leaves you to. The 2 papers, I've kind of went over this already, but the 1 paper is the Organizational Culture Profile Report, which is pretty self-explanatory, and the CEO Profile Report. So here I just want you to get, a lot of the course is going to be talking in general concepts, and here's a chance you get to go really in depth into one company and really tie together a lot of the material that we're learning in class, and really see a complete example, not just one chapter at a time. Okay. Now the class schedule I have posted here in the syllabus. I would just go to the announcements page. There I'll post the class schedule and the links to all the videos that you're going to be watching. If there is one other important piece of information, there are no makeup exams or for exams or assignments. Everything must be done on time, unless you have a bona fide medical, legal, or school-related exception. And I also expect that you to conduct yourself in a professional manner. The College of Business is a professional school, and I expect students to be prompt on their assignments, be willing to contribute to your efforts, and whenever you write a paper or post a response, be respectful and courteous of other peers within the course, and also of me, the faculty. So I will be keen to send you an email if I feel anything you're doing is inappropriate. Also, academic dishonesty. Please do not copy or plagiarize any other person's written materials. Please do not collude on the quizzes. I'm specifically telling you you need to work on them by yourselves, not together. Don't share your answers or results of your quizzes with other classmates. Everybody is to do them independently. If you do pull information out of the internet, make sure, or from a different source, make sure that any material you utilize, whether it's in a discussion board posting or if it's within the paper, that you put quotations around it and give me the proper citation of where the material is from. So no cheating or plagiarizing will be tolerated, and will be discipline will be according to the College of Business academic dishonesty policy for all graduate students. And if you have any type of disability that may affect or impair your involvement in the class, we do have a disability support service that you can contact, and then will contact me and what accommodations I need to make for you. And lastly, I have the rubric I would use to grade the paper. So here are the 5 criteria that I would look at as far as grading the paper, and then how I would grade them on the A through F scale. And I'm basically looking at how well organized and prepared the paper is. Visually, is it good formatting and headings and good margins? How well your research was conducted. Was your information properly cited? I would like to use the APA format mostly, but we'll accept other common formats. Was your writing interesting and engaging and professional? Was it grammatically correct? Good sentence structure? And were all the questions I had asked in the assignment thoroughly covered and answered? And did you use a good use of space, meaning that is the writing concise and not full of fillers or pointless information? Okay, so that's my paper, my grading rubric on the paper. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Now, what I suggest when you log into Blackboard, on a typical day, you log into Blackboard, see what the course schedule is for the day. For each class, I have my video links already posted, and so you get an idea of how to organize yourself for the 3 weeks. After you just familiarize yourself with the class schedule, would go into the assignments to make sure you have the dates down for the most current assignments and when they're due. Discussion boards, make sure you keep up on this on a timely basis, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so I look forward to working on this class with you, and I hope that we all have a great experience and we'll all learn a great deal, and I will be talking with you soon. Take care.